Hey guys, welcome to Herding Little Cows to the Glory of God. We have not done very many videos of this nature in a while, and so we were just going to kind of catch you up on our last, month and what's going on for the next week. So today is April 9th. We are in Ohio, and there is white stuff falling from the sky. I don't know if you can see it.
A little bit of it.
A little bit of it, but still, it's April 9th. There should not be white stuff falling from the sky. So, first update. Well, first, we'll tell you what we're doing today. We are getting together with my kind of uncle and going to an auction. The kids have never been to an auction. Mark, how do they talk at an auction? So we're going to go to the auction this morning. We're going to go check out what they're selling first, and then we'll sit through some of the auction. We'll see how that all goes because we've never been to one. We're then going to go have lunch and take naps and then go see my grandma, who we have been able to see every day while we've been here. We're going to go see her tonight and spend some time with her, right? Okay, so this guy on the 2nd turned 6 months old, right? So a little bit about him. He's about 18 pounds. He's been 18 pounds for about a month and a half now. Last time I weighed him, he was 18 pounds. But since that, he has been moving a lot more. So he doesn't actually crawl yet, but we put him down on the ground and he can spin in circles, and he somehow, we can't really figure out how, but he can get himself across the room. So it's not true crawling yet, though. He just kind of squiggles and wiggles and moves. Squirts. You squirt, right? Squirt right across the room. So he loves all his brothers and sisters. He's a very happy baby most of the time.
Who does not want to be held right now? Put me on the ground.
If he gets upset, he definitely makes that known. But he is just a joy to have around and loves all his brothers and sisters, don't you? Yeah, we're going to put you down. Okay. Make sure he doesn't get any markers.
No markers.
And we can get to a crawling position.
Ooh.
And then we'll go down on the floor. He's there for a long time today. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
So when he's down on the ground, he can push up fully on his hands. He has trouble getting up to his knees. That's a new thing. So, okay, that's where we are with him. Okay, so we haven't done an update. So back March 23rd, I think was the day. Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, Josiah had a seizure that did not stop. We did the protocol for at home with his emergency medications. His seizure was not stopping. We were in Tennessee. We called our friend who we were living on his property. His name's Nick. He came to the camper and he helped load me and Josiah and Naomi, who's 15 now. She just had a birthday, and baby up into the car. Helped load us up into the car and drove us to the Children's Hospital. It was just a blessing that it was the middle of the night. It was a blessing that we were in Knoxville, where they did have a children's hospital. Nick was a blessing to us. He got us to the hospital safely without having to read the GPS and all of that stuff. And when we got there, they brought out a wheelchair, and I just remember thinking, he's not going to be able to sit in a wheelchair. He's still seizing. This isn't going to work. So Nick just picked him up and ran down the hall with him and took him to the emergency room where they had him in the trauma section. He ended up, they had to give him a bunch of doses of medication to stop the seizure, which did thankfully stop. But because of that, they had to put a tube down his throat to help him breathe, because the amount of medication they were giving him would eventually relax his body so much that he would lose his airway. He still had an airway. People have asked me what was going on in this time. He still had an airway. He was still breathing on his own. His oxygen level was still okay. The problem was, oh, you're gonna go over there with everyone else. We're in the camper. It's snowing. There's a lot of us. So everything was still okay with his airway at that point. It was the point of needing to stop the seizure that would cause his airway to possibly be lost. Once they lose an airway because of the seizures, do you want to come sit with me? Here's Josiah. Once they lose an airway because of giving all the seizure medication, it's hard to get the tube down their throat because their throat is so floppy. All the muscles are so floppy. So we had a very good respiratory therapist that night, Cody, who did the work for him. We got to see him. We had to leave the room while they intubated him. I looked through the window a little bit, but I also was trying to catch up with Mark what was going on. The respiratory therapist had him on a bag, and they were giving him a breath every 2 seconds or whatever it is, I don't know the number they were doing, while they took him down for a CAT scan. They wanted to make sure that he had not had any injury in his brain, that he didn't have a like bleeding or anything, pressure on his brain that was causing the seizing to continue. But that came out clear. His his CAT scan looked the same as the MRI we had last year. So after that, it took them a while to get him set up in his room, and Mommy was very scared because I couldn't be with him. I didn't know exactly what was going on. And while we were in the ICU, I actually saw another room that there was a lot of activity going on, people in and out, and I thought it was his room, and it was another person's room. So I did pray for that person. After the fact, I thought it was Josiah, but I was praying for Josiah, thinking it was him at the time. They had to re-tube him. The tube wasn't quite far enough down for what they were going to have as a long-term thing, right? Long-term he kept it in for 18 hours, about. But they got him into a room, they got him all settled, and we got to go in and be with him. He had a night nurse named Abby, who was wonderful. We enjoyed Abby. You probably don't remember Abby at all. We had a day nurse named Gabe, who was great and amazing and prayed for Josiah when we left, when we went down to the regular rooms, right? So he got put on the tube about 1, 2 in the morning on Wednesday. Yes, on Thursday they started to take off the medication that was sedating him, and the tube came out around 6 o'clock at night. This guy is so talented. They have to put a tube down into the stomach just to get out any stomach acids and stuff that are happening down there. And this guy, with his tongue, got that tube all the way out, or almost all the way out. So they ended up pulling that before they pulled the regular tube because he had done that. I had never seen anyone on a tube before. I had never seen anyone come off a tube before. It was very, very scary, but we knew God was there the whole time. We knew God was doing good through even the struggles we were going through, right? And so that he ended up getting off the tube at 6. We had a very drowsy night, not understanding what was going on. This guy needed a handheld most of the night because he was confused and kept trying to pull out his IVs and everything else that was going on, right?
So, and I was up in a room, and all the rest of the family was on the sidewalk, and we would do calls so we could talk to them.
Yeah, so we were in the ICU for 2 nights, and then partway through the next day we got put into a regular room, right? And in the regular room he could see out to the sidewalk, so we would talk to everybody because we left in the middle of the night and he didn't see any of his siblings and they didn't get to see him until that day. So that was just a blessing to be able to see them, right? We had really good nurses there. One of our nurses was Maddie, and she is pregnant and due very soon with a baby, and she's going to get to be a full-time mom, so that's going to be very exciting. I hope you're watching this show, Maddie. We told you about our channel. And who was our other nurse? Erica we had for our nurse. We had some good nurses. We liked our nurses. Oh, and we had Ty. Do you remember Ty? Yeah, we had Ty. So anyway, we had some good nurses. Everything, he's doing well now. He's on a new medication along with the medication he was on before. We're still having seizure activity. But fast forward into the future. So today's Saturday. We are going to be in town Sunday. We are in Bluffton, Ohio right now. We're going to be here tomorrow. And on Monday, we head towards Norristown, Pennsylvania, where we are doing a therapy program with Josiah. If you want to know more about the therapy program, watch some of our videos on this channel of Josiah crawling and doing his different therapy things. We did a class through them. It was a 30-hour learn about how your brain works and set up a therapy program for your child. But Josiah has a complicated case, and so we feel like we need a little more hands-on help. So we're going to go to the therapy center and get a hands-on evaluation. We will meet with a nutritionist and doctor on one day, and then the next day meet with a bunch of therapists, and they will evaluate him, figure out what reflexes he still has that he shouldn't have from a baby, figure out where he is ability-wise, and give us a program to help from there. So that will be Tuesday and Wednesday of this coming week. So the 12th and 13th, 11th and 12th, whatever that Tuesday and Wednesday is.
What you doing?
He's doing therapy.
No, silly pants.
I'll see.
Then we will be going home from there to Maine, hopefully being back Thursday or Friday. Samuel wants me to tell you that while Josiah is in his therapy session, where are you guys going?
Valley Forge.
Is that a good thing?
Yes.
So Samuel loves history, and Valley Forge is about 5 miles from where we are. So they're going to go do that while Josiah and I and Naomi and Baby come to the therapy center because Baby is still exclusively nursing. That was a wonderful thing about the Children's Hospital. They let the baby stay with me the entire time. I had my mom come and stay with us too. She flew down from Maine, but he's still nursing, so he got to be with us. Are you okay?
Andy pants. He just had about 3-second look off.
Okay, so we are in Ohio. We left Tennessee. When did we leave Tennessee? Sunday. This past Sunday.
We left Tennessee less than a week ago.
So we left Tennessee. We spent a night in Richmond, Kentucky, where we got to see 2 church brothers that we knew and got to catch up with what their families are doing. This guy, what did you get on Monday morning?
Who did you get to go see?
I got to go see the chiropractor.
We went and saw our friend the chiropractor, Hamilton Taylor. If you happen to be in the Richmond area and need a chiropractor, Hamilton Taylor is the guy to go to. He is amazing. And we have a baby squeaking.
Hello.
We came to Bluffton to be able to see my grandma, who we have not been able to see since before COVID. She lives in a nursing home. She's independent living, but lives within a nursing home setting. And so she has to follow their masking protocols. So we have not been able to see her since COVID started. So we got to see her. We got to see my second cousin, who has a little boy who's just a couple weeks younger than Malachi. Her little boy's Noah, and he's super, super cute.
Did you have fun with Noah?
So we got to see him. We've gotten to see my grandma every day. We got to see my other second cousin and her parents, which I call my aunt and uncle. They're not, but that's who we're going to the auction with today. Yesterday, in a little bit.
Stop talking.
Yesterday, we went to the Allen County Museum here in Ohio. If you live somewhere near here, Allen County has a wonderful museum that has a whole hands-on section for the kids. They can pretend to work in the schoolhouse and be in the general store and a whole bunch of puzzles and things like that. And then there's also a lot of old cars to look at, a whole Mount Vernon, like
The railroad thing was cool.
the railroad. Oh, there's like a model railroad that goes through the history of Ohio. There's just all kinds of fun stuff there. Since we've talked to you guys last time, a lot of things have gone on. So if you have questions about things we did on our trip, feel free to ask questions below or to us on Facebook, and I'll try to answer them. We're hoping to make future videos. These guys are getting loud. One more thing I have to mention is Abigail also had a birthday since we saw you last time. She is now 7.
7. 6 months.
So we had a birthday, 6-month, a 7-year-old birthday, and a 15-year-old birthday, and we have other birthdays coming up. So someone is about to turn 19. That one over there
That one.
will be
The big
19.
You're gonna be 19?
So thank you for joining us on Herding Little Cows to the Glory of God. If you guys have more questions, please ask in the comments. We will see you next time.
Bye.